Hello, and welcome to episode 20 of KnitScents. My name is Jan. You can find me as JanLNRN on Ravelry and on Instagram, occasionally on Twitter, but not very often. It's been a while again. I think it's been a month, at least. But the good news is that I think I've really found my mojo again. And I have gotten a tremendous amount done in the past. Actually, hold on one second because it just all of a sudden got dark. It figures I was playing with these lights. Ooh, oh, there we go. Okay. Decided to turn them off because the sun came out, and as soon as I hit the record button, the sun went away. Okay. In this past month, I've really spent a lot of time cleaning out just stuff that was hanging over my head, kind of, I guess, in a way, holding me back from casting on things that I really wanted to do, because I felt like I had so much that was sitting there, but I really didn't want to knit on it anymore. My spinning was just kind of in a state of mess, and I really went at it. I really went at it in the past month. First off, I did a major frogging event. I went through everything that I had, works in progress, UFOs that were on my needles, and made some really harsh decisions about frogging them. And it came down to really, if I wasn't actively going to work on it in the very immediate future, it was getting ripped. And I still have the yarn, still have the patterns, and I felt like it was a weight off my shoulders. And if I wanted to put it, to restart it, if it was something I really felt like I wanted to make, I could always start it again. But what I had found in the month before, particularly with, and I do have a finished shawl, and that's really what spurred me, that I was able to finish a lace beaded shawl in a little over a month, mostly because I worked on it. It's funny how that works. When it sits in a bag, it doesn't knit itself. I don't know, go figure. But when you take it out and you actually knit on it, things get done. And I found that with my Hap shawl, which is almost finished. And I decided that that was a better way for me to go, to limit the number of projects. I'm not a monogamous knitter. That's just not going to happen. But to limit the number of things that I have on the needles and at least finish one of them before I cast something else on. And it was amazing the amount of my toys, my stitch holders and markers and needles and measuring tapes and scissors, all my little toys that I found in the process of ripping and what was in all those bags. It was quite a pile. It was quite an event. So I did that, and I've really been enjoying now the things that I've been knitting on. So that's, I think, part of what made a huge difference. And you'll see the things that I am working on. I'm seeing progress, and I think that's spurring me to work on them even more. So I think that's helped my mojo a lot, and I think that will, if I can keep to that, which hopefully I will, I'll see progress, and I'll be able to, I want to record more, but it's silly to come on and show the 1/4 inch I did on a sock. It's kind of silly. But now, seeing that I'm doing more progress and working on different things, hopefully, at least every 2 weeks will be reasonable. I'd love to be able to record every week and show some progress, but I'm not sure how realistic that is. So we'll see about that one. But we're going to aim for every 2 weeks and see how that goes. And if we can manage more often, that would be great. And I'm going to put you on hold for 2 seconds because I'm going to turn some lights on. It's actually getting dark. And these out lights work great, except that I'm looking at dark behind me. So hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully it does not look like I am recording in a cave anymore, because that's what it was looking like to me. It's like I was sitting in a cave, and that was kind of freaking me out. So I turned the lights on in the back there. So that's where the knitting's been. I have limited myself. I mean, there are still some projects that are on hiatus that I have every intention of finishing, but there are only a few. And at some point they may get frogged, but there are only a couple. And then there are the ones that I am actively working on. So that's really cleared things up for me. And my spinning mojo has come back with a vengeance, I am happy to say. I finished, and I will show you a skein that I finished. I had processed a korma fleece quite some time ago. I had a lot of bats and things, and I had been spinning on that, and you know, it was white and it's kind of boring. I mean, how much can you spin on it? So I had one wheel that I keep in my living room, and my other wheels I keep downstairs in my den, and I don't really spin down there. So the wheels were kind of, you know, pieces I was taking were all from this. And upshot of it is, I spent yesterday, I gave all of my wheels a good spring cleaning, and I now have projects and progress going on all of them. I actually have narrowed it down. I'm working with 3 of my wheels. I have a sidekick that I don't know what I think I'm spinning the Cormo on that. My matchless, which I actually didn't bring what I was spinning in on that one. And then my ladybug, which I put back, I cleaned, I did all the, you know, cleaning and took it apart and put it all back together. She's spinning beautifully now. I actually have her in double drive because I have a double treadle mattress. I have a double treadle matchless, and I also have a single treadle matchless that's, let's call it a vintage wheel. I think it's 1988. So it's an older wheel. It spins beautifully, but I don't know that I need 2 matchless wheels. I'm actually contemplating selling that wheel because I am very, very interested in the flat iron. But when we get to the spinning, we'll go all into that. But at any rate, I cleaned up the 3 wheels, which is my sidekick, my double treadle matchless, and my ladybug, and they are all going, and I have really been spinning happily on them. So let's dive in. That's where I'm at. That's what's kind of been going on in the past month, is just sort of a major reorganization. The other thing is, and I do want to mention, I will likely be phasing out of Scentsy, but I don't want to change the title of the podcast, partly because that's what it is. That's how it was conceived. But I do enjoy fragrance. I enjoy home fragrance, and I just enjoy, even if the scent in your house is home cooking, I think that makes your house a home. And between that and crafting and knitting and spinning and smelling something good, I just think that that's all happy stuff. So we're going to leave it at KnitScents. Again, I will likely be phasing the Scentsy end of it out, but that does not mean that I will not be using my Scentsy. I love it. I am addicted to it. They're all over my house. I will continue to use the product. I love it very much. If you need any information about it, you can still contact me, and I can direct you to another Scentsy consultant. But again, that's just, I think it was more of a time factor, and there was only so thin that I could spread myself. So having said all of that, and now we're 4 minutes into my blathering on, let's get into this week. We are going to have knitting. We're going to have spinning. I have some finished objects. I don't even know what stash enhancement I have from the past month. I don't know. I don't even remember specifically going out and buying anything. I think I was more into reclaiming what I already had on the needles. I'm sure I must have picked up a thing or two here or there. I'm looking at two things right now, so we'll kind of stick that in as it comes up, and I'll show you what I have. But I think that about covers it, so let's jump in and start in with the knitting. The first thing that I have been really working on and enjoying, I've really been enjoying this, is the second pattern from the M Club, the Laura Nelkin M Club, and this is one of the I'm covering my button here. I'm not into any no politics on this thing. This is one of the goodies that she gave last year in one of the kits that she sent. But this this last knit along, there are 4 projects each year in the M Club. And if you join the M Club, you get yarn and beads and a good, goodies that come in the package, and you get a package 4 times through the year, and you get the pattern when it's released. But if you're not in the M Club, 2 of the patterns are mystery knit-alongs, and those are open to the public. You don't obviously get the kit, the yarn and the beads that Laura sends in the kit, but she makes excellent recommendations. She steers you in the right direction to get the correct yarn that you need, what will work, what won't work. She gives a lot of pre-information in these mystery knit-alongs. So if you are interested in joining this one that we're working on now, and actually the final clue did come out, so you can see some of the finished ones, and you can purchase the pattern if you like it. The next one will be in, oh gosh, I don't know. Is it June or July? I don't know. But the next club pattern that will come out will be an exclusive pattern for M Club members. But the last one towards the end of the year, I believe somewhere around October, November, somewhere around there, that one again will be a mystery knit along. So that one will be open to the public. And I'll give you more information as that comes up. But this one that we're working on now, this is a pattern called Creatrix, and I believe I did show this on a previous podcast. This is the card that came along with it. I did show, I remember on the last podcast I didn't have the needle keeper that she had sent as the goodie because it was on, again, some project flying around somewhere. I have since reclaimed it back. Here it is. Laura has put her sticker on it, and which I think is adorable, and the fact that it's purple just set me over the edge. At any rate, here is the Creatrix. I just want to see if I didn't write it down and I didn't pull it up. Okay, this is one skein of, and I don't know, I want to say it was some 800 and something yards. I don't know if this was a special skein that was made for her. But if you look up the pattern on Ravelry, it will tell you the yardage that you need. But in the kit, it included one skein of Yarn Carnival Fire Dancer is the yarn that was used. And this has a tremendous amount of beads on it. I mean, this thing is, I love it. I just absolutely love it. So here's where I'm at. Of course, I'm in the middle of the row. Let's see if I can do this. Is this not the cutest thing? This is, oh gosh, let me just, SucreSucre. I'll link, I'll put the name below. I think that's who makes this. I have to check, actually. Anyway, it's a stitch keeper marker in the shape of an apple strudel. I don't know why this won't focus. Focus. Maybe it's the lights. I don't know. I can't get the hang. Oh, there we go. I just thought that was so cute. Anyway, that's the right side. So what we did, we started down here with this like lattice type lace. And I've seen some of the finished products, and this just opens up tremendously. So that was the first clue. Then we went into the second clue, which was this beaded yarn over lace pattern. And I think this is actually clues 2 and 3 in there. Okay, I think there was a bit of short row shaping. It was one clue on the wings, because what this is, it's hard to describe while it's on here, but up until this section here, this garter section, it was worked in 3 sections. There was a left wing, a center section, and a right wing. And so between this beaded section, which is part of clue 2, and it's also part of clue 2 and part of clue 3, are these beautiful beaded yarn overs which line up, and also these double yarn over sections. It's very hard to show it. I know, lace looks like ramen noodles until you get it on you block it out. But at any rate, once we did the short rows, we got rid of the markers, and now it's all worked in one piece. And clue 4 is just this, I like to look at it, it's like spider lace. I mean, this is just absolutely gorgeous pattern here, and it's a 4-row pattern, but it really, really is pretty. So I enjoyed that. And now I'm on clue 5, which is pretty much a repeat of like part of this section without these railroad tracks. Okay, can you see? I don't know if I'm getting, there's these beaded railroad tracks that ran through the beginning sections of the yarn over with the beads, and the beaded yarn overs are here. And this last lace section here has the double yarn overs like these, like right here, like that section. It has the double yarn overs, and it has the yarn over with beads. And I think it's a 20-something row section. I'm almost at the point, I think I'm on, I don't know, I'll guess. I was working on it last night. I'm almost at the point where we do the beaded yarn overs, and then there are 2 options for a bind off. And one is a beaded picot bind off, and the other one is just a plain beaded bind off. And I've seen them both, and I am a sucker for a picot bind off, and I have seen some of the finished ones. I think my biggest decision is, do I have enough beads to bead every single picot? The pattern calls for putting a bead on every other one, which I think, given the weight, I mean, there's like 1,600 beads, over 1,600 beads on this. I mean, it's got some weight to it, which I happen to love. I mean, the more beads for me, the better. So, which is why I would bead every picot. But I'm just not sure I have enough, and I really don't want the aggravation of running out at the end. And like I said, it's got a lot of beads on it, so if it's every other one, I'm fine with that. So I am hoping, like I said, this I've been working on almost every day. I am at the point, I'm at the last clue. I know the bind off may take me a while, but I would very much like to get this finished because of an upcoming project, which I will show you after I get all of my whips out of the way. So, okay, so that's one that I've been working on. The other one, and I know I've shown this one before, and I have made some progress on, I'm going to try to move this chair back, is my Hap Shawl. I enjoyed this. That project, love working on it, really enjoying it, and I am really, really enjoying working on this Hap Shawl. I think when I last recorded, I was at this, let's see if I can get it a section where, let's see, okay. I was on this border. Okay. This is considered the center section, this whole garter. I'm going to like hide behind it here, but this whole garter center here, that's the center section. The colored part here is called the border, and I think the last time I recorded, I was right at the beginning of repeating the gray. So you go from the light orange, the green, to the gray, the dark orange stripes with the white or off-white, and then back in reverse. And I was really right here at the beginning of the reverse. So what I've done is I've basically finished the shawl body. I did all of the border, finished that, and started the edging. And I have done, now I'm going to try to see if I can hold up from one corner to the next. So maybe you can see, well, I can't get flat out enough, but here, that's one corner finished. It's an attached lace edging. And I've done 2 sides already. And it is slow going because it's back and forth for each. And I think you bind off, I don't remember if it was 8 or 16 stitches for each lace repeat, for each repeat of this lace. I believe it's 8. You're binding off 8 stitches or eating up 8 stitches with each point of the lace edging. So it's been a slow go, but like I said, I am really enjoying it. I'm using, I think it's Jameson jumper weight. Let's see if I have a tag on one of, yeah, Jameson and Smith jumper weight, 2-ply jumper weight. Is it the softest yarn? No, but it's comfortable. You know, it kind of reminds you, and when you knit with it and when you wear this type of yarn, to me, this makes me think of years gone by, people in Ireland, people in Scotland, people where it's chilly or where it's cold or where it's damp. This would be the kind of wool that they used and still use to this day, and this is the kind of garment that they would wear to keep warm, and the kind of wool. And I think it does definitely soften over time. I know it will wear well. So I'm really kind of enjoying the feel. To me, it's like almost like a comfort knit. I know it sounds ridiculous because, again, it's not like knitting with cashmere or silk or some soft thing, but it is comfort knitting. So that's where I am on this. Again, I think it's a 16 row, and it's mostly garter. For some reason, I don't know if it's because I'm mostly knitting at night and I can't wrap my head around too much at that hour. I can't memorize the pattern, but I only have to glance at it just to keep myself on track. But that's where I'm at, and I have that much left to go. So like I said, I did 2 sides. I'm in the process of binding off the 3rd side. And being garter, I think you can, obviously you'll be able, this will have a lot of give when I go to block it. Obviously you want to open up the lace part, but I don't think I'm going to open this garter and block it to the point where I would block lace, because I don't want it that open. So this is the pattern, it's the Hansel Hap, and I did the full hap, because I figured either go big or go home. So I chose to go big. But it is the pattern from the Craftsy class on Shetland Hap Shawls. It's given by Gudrun Johnson, and she gives some really wonderful ways to block your shawl in that class. And also she has 2 other versions. She has a small size version, which, I mean, they call it a doll size shawl, but I've seen people wear it as like a scarf or a scarflet. That's not really my thing, so I didn't do that one. But there is also a pattern included in that. And I think if you just purchase the pattern for the full hap shawl without the Craftsy class, I do believe it also comes with the half hap, which is a triangle. And in the class, she does explain the differences, but I don't think it's anything that if you've, like I said, it's not a complicated pattern. So I think if you wanted to knit the half hap, just the triangular version one, I don't think you need to take the class necessarily to learn any skills, unless, like I said, she's wonderful and she really does give some tips on how to weave in those ends that to even it out. I mean, I learned a lot in the class, so I was glad that I took that. So that's another way. This is another one that I started. I have been working on it, but admittedly not as actively. It's in the forefront of my stuff, but not as actively. This year I joined Romy Hill's Pins and Lace Club. I did the pins and pattern version because I just absolutely could not justify bringing more yarn into the house. I figured whatever the patterns are, I will have yarn. Yeah. Okay, so I saw the pattern. The pattern is called Openhearted, and I'm going to show you. I do have it. Hold up. See, I do. That is the shawl. The trick is to do this without the lights. And it came out around Valentine's Day. So again, like I said, it's open-hearted, and you can see, if I don't mess up, the hearts. There are 4 hearts around the center, and you work out. It's done very similar to the last Romy shawl that I did, which is Fiori Autunnali, which you will see in a minute. So when I saw this pattern come out, and I saw that it was basically constructed very similarly, a center cast on, you knit out, then you bind off the bottom, knit one side, and then knit the other side, I was like, well, I can handle that. I did it. And I loved the pattern, but the problem was I also happened to have loved the yarn. So yes, I said I wasn't going to add any more, and I went and ordered the yarn that she was using online, which is, let's see if I can figure out what the yarn was. I think it was Fiber Spades. Let's see. Oh dear. No, no, no. Well, Fiber Spades Scrumptious Lace. I don't know the colorway. I don't know the colorway. If I will find out, and I will link it below. But I did start it, and I'm really excited because, again, I did from her class the belly button cast on, where you basically use a piece of I-cord to cast on a center cast on. Now, I have tried Emily Oker's cast on. I have tried all kinds of center cast on. And when you're working with even fingering weight, sport weight yarn, it's a lot simpler. When you're working with lace weight yarn, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to keep the needles from flipping. Having that umbilical cord of I-cord to hang on to makes the center cast on so much simpler. I actually even took it off and closed it on up. I don't know if you can see it. There we go, here. And I have not woven in the thread yet, but if you pull it, you'll see it closes up. And there is the center cast on. And it's amazing how much give these have, because you saw the size of the pattern, but there are the hearts already right here. Okay, so I've gotten past that part. Let's see if you can see. I'm almost at the point, the bottom of the heart. I love her patterns. They are beautifully written. There's always help on the forums, and I just enjoy them. I don't know if it's just because they're so well written that I've gained some confidence with it. I will be putting in lifelines because I've learned my lesson. But this I had started, and I decided I'm not going to fraud this because I will finish it. But to be honest, I have not. This is not in the active whips. Oh, we found some stash enhancement. Oh gosh, as we knock half this over. I saw this bag. I was browsing for something that I probably didn't need. I don't know what it was, and I saw this bag on the Eat Sleep Knit website. And I think it was like $15. I don't know. It's a messenger bag style. I fell in love with it. I thought it was adorable. It's a nice size bag. And I thought it was really cute. And when I saw the pink kind of logo on it, I was like, yeah, all right, whatever, I need it. So, and I just realized that the top flap is a pocket, but this is kind of silly. This is a pocket right here. But when you open it, everything would fall out. I don't think I'd use it as a pocket. But if you happen to need a bag, a messenger bag, it's nice and flat, but it's nice and roomy. This is a great bag for that. I did do a little damage. I went to my local yarn store and I saw in the window this poncho, and I'm going to try to pull this up, and fell in love with it. And it is very simple lace. This is a simple pattern. This is something that you can just work on with it whenever. It is called Stone Point by Courtney Kelly. That's it right there. Oh, these lights, I think they're making matters worse. Okay, that's it. It's open-sided on both sides, and the beauty of it is, and the reason I decided to knit this now is because I am knitting it, I believe this is Fiber Company Luma, and this is wool, cotton, linen, flax, and silk. They had one on a model in the window, and it was so light and so soft, and I'm thinking to myself, this is probably the best thing for the summer, the spring, summer, when you go in, you have air conditioning, you want to just pull something on. Obviously, you don't want a heavy wool poncho. And even though this yarn has wool in it, it is in no way heavy. I'm looking at it, I'm trying to figure out if it's woolen spun. I don't think so. It looks like it's worsted spun. It is just very light. It is very soft. And so I did get started on that. And again, like I said, all you do is just repeat this pattern until you hit X amount of repeats. I don't remember how many of them. Then you do the other half. You leave it on this needle. You do another half. You do a 3-needle bind off up to the neck. You pick up stitches and you garter stitch the neck. This is not complicated knitting. So I just wanted to do this, and I thought this would be a fun thing to keep me busy, and so we added that. So that's on the works in progress too, and that's gotten some love there. And the last thing I have, which I have been working on all year, well, not the same one. I joined the Desert Vista Dyeworks this year. This is her 3rd annual sock club. You do a pair of socks knit out of Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn every month. If you knit first 3 months, January, February, March, you get 30% off your next purchase. She sends you a coupon to use for a 30% off discount in her store. April, May, and June, if you finish those 3 months, you get 30% off discount in the store. But if you have done all 6 months, January through June, you get a free skein of your choice. And then it continues for the next 3 months. Again, you get a 30% off discount at the end of the 3 months if you've done all 3. And at the end of the year, if you've done all 12 months, knit 12 pair of Desert Vista Dyeworks socks, she comes up with an exclusive colorway, and you get a free skein of Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn in the exclusive colorway for those that finished. And Susan is one of my favorite people. I love Susan. She's just fun. She's funny. She's talented. I love her. I happen to love her colorways, and I have a stash of her yarn. So this to me was a great way to really force myself to use it and stop hoarding it. So I will show you my March pair, no, my April pair, which is finished. I had my February and March pair laying on my dresser. It's like, I'm not going to wear, I'm not going to wear, I'm going to show them, I'm going to show them. And then it got cold here all of a sudden again. And I was like, well, they're out, they're here, what the heck. So anyway, needless to say, I done all through April. And last night, yesterday was May 1st, so I cast on my May Desert Vista Dyeworks sock. So it's a wee sock. I just started this last night. The color is Boot Scootin'. And this color was inspired, I remember actually, it isn't, Susan had responded on my Instagram. She said that's an oldie, and I remember when actually this is from an SSK event from several years back, and I think she had a contest. I don't exactly remember what the details were to come up with an inspiration for a colorway that was unique to Nashville, to the event. And it actually was a friend of mine, Marion, who came up with the inspiration of Boot Scootin'. And I got a skein of it, and I was hoarding it. I was literally saving this skein. And I was like, you know what? SSK is coming up again. It's May. It is time for boots. It's time for the boots and shorts and t-shirts, and it's time to do some boot scooting. So here we go. It's not self-striping, and it is self-striping. And that's what I love about this colorway, because I was looking at it, I'm like, these are really short repeats. This is not going to be your typical self-striping. And it isn't, but it's done in a consistent way. So the colors sort of match up, not in full stripes, but evenly. And I love that. And I love the colors. I think this is just literally, it reads Boot Scootin' to me. So that's what I'm working on. All of the socks I've done so far have been vanilla socks with a gusset and flap heel that I got from the Syntha Socks. That's a pattern by Laura Nelkin, that flap and gusset heel. But I think on this one, because it is not self-striping, and is, you know, trying to keep the colors as rigid, I think I'm actually going to go with a Fish Lips Kiss heel on this particular sock. I haven't done it in a while, and I think it would be fun to just do one of them with the short row heel. So that's that. I think that's all my whips, except for my tale of woe. Here's my tale of woe. I went down the rabbit hole with the Stephen West, the mystery knit along. And I have to say, I have seen some absolutely beautiful ones from this last mystery knit along. Sadly, mine was not one of them. I guess either I didn't read, I mean, the brioche, it had a little lace. And I guess I read that part, and I'm like, yeah, cool, I can do the brioche, I can handle the lace, I'm not, you know, I can change colors, I can work with 2 strands. What I didn't realize was that it required some sense of color, and that's where I ran afoul. It was over at that point. And I don't know how many of you have knit this particular knit along. Like I said, some people, it's not the pattern. I do not hold the pattern responsible at all. This was totally a mess on me. I chose colors that, let me show you, and you'll see what I mean. Here's what I have before I just decided to stuff it in a bag and decide what to do with it. I can't even tell the right side from the wrong side. Okay, here we go. I don't even remember where it started. This is the brioche, so I think this is where an end of a section. I don't know. I don't even remember what I did. Obviously, I'm working somewhere here, along here. This, I think, was the first section. I don't know. But I took a good hard look at this, and I asked myself, in all honesty, where am I ever going to wear this? I'm not even going to repeat the answers. I mean, this is just, it's just not me. It is not my colors. Now, here's where my tale of woe comes in. I used some of my hoarded stash for this. So I can't say it's not that I don't like the colors. I just don't like these colors together. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. I don't know. But like here, this pink section here, this was one strand of some mohair, but the background color with it is hedgehog fibers, and I absolutely loved the skein, and I don't even know if I have any of it left at this point. There were other skeins in here that I absolutely loved, but the problem is this whole thing is knit with two skeins of two different colors held together and a lot of mohair. There is no way I'm going to be able to rip this. And if I did, all I would have is little pieces, basically, of yarn because I was changing colors every couple of rows. So the bottom line is there's no salvaging this. I have two choices. Finish it, and I don't know what I would do with it. I really don't. And I don't even have it in me to finish it, or suck it up, toss it, and learn my lesson that if I do anything that requires putting more than two colors together, to get some help from somebody that has a better sense of color than I do, because it's sad. It's really sad. You know, when I started and I saw, you know, the pink and this and that, and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty, and the mohair is so fluffy, it looks so nice, and then it started going off into every other color of the rainbow, and not in a good way. I mean, I've seen people that have done colorful ones that put it together brilliantly, and they're beautiful. And then I look at this and I just get sick. So that is my tale of woe. No, I will not be working on it. I will likely just yank the needle out, toss what's on it, and try to salvage as much of the skeins that I have, and maybe find a pattern that only calls for putting two colors together from the skeins that I have, and salvaging them that way. So that's it for works in progress. I do want to show, I forgot, it's been laying literally right in front of me. I had mentioned that I joined Romy's Pins and Lace Club, and the open-hearted pattern that I had started, and I forgot to show the pin that was the one that she sent in February, and it just is so gorgeous. I have to show it. She makes these herself, and this is a heart shawl pin, and this one I think is out of red brass. I think is what it says. Yes, red brass. Things are jumping here. Red brass. And I loved it. I thought it just couldn't have been more perfect for that shawl pattern. So that's the pin that came with the Romy Hill. I forgot to show it when I showed the pattern. So we'll just toss that. Upcoming works. I did get hauled into yet another mystery knit along, but I think I feel a little more comfortable with this one. I will explain why. I don't know if you've seen, but it's all over Ravelry. It's been in the top 10 list for weeks now. Is the Hohi Locatelli Mystery Knit Along. And that will be coming up, I think, starting May 12th. So my goal is to get the Creatrix finished by then and off the needles and start the Hohi Knit Along. So to that end, again, my problem was it calls for 5 skeins of yarn. And after my last experience with trying to choose colors myself, I knew that was a mistake. So I was looking into, Hohi had worked with several indie dyers and come up with kits and stuff. And I was looking into purchasing a kit, and I'm thinking, you know, I mean, it's tragic with the number of skeins of yarn I have in this house that I can't get 5 that go together. So when I did that massive frog and went through everything, all in my cabinets and such, I found a kit that I had purchased to knit some other shawl with that I actually believe my local yarn store still has the kits available. and it's Lydia yarn. I think it's 400 yards per skein. Yeah, 400 yards per skein. And I don't know if these lights are doing it justice, but I knew that these three colors went together because I didn't put them together. They came together and they look like they go together just fine. So then all I had to do was find two more. Well, you can't go wrong when you pick a off-white or a white. So that was one down. So now all I had to do was find one more that went. And I found this one. So here are my 5 colors for my, which I thought these go together. I mean, I'm not wild about this gold, but I think these to me are wearable colors. And I think if you're going to go in order to what she recommends, this speckled one would come in between here. So I think it would go from the white to the gold to the speckled and then to the lighter brown and darker brown. I have to check the pattern again, but it wouldn't be exactly in this order. That speckled one comes out somewhere. But these are the yarns I'm using. This is a Nature Spun Brown Sheep Company, probably just in their natural color or whatever they call it. This actually I had purchased. This is from Toby Roxanne. She is a designer that I know. She's lovely. I've knit many of her patterns, and she has started dyeing yarn. In fact, if you go back in my episodes, I did interview her. And this is one of the skeins that I picked up. It's called Chandelier Fingering. So it's a singles. It's a singles yarn. I don't know what the color. Oh, here's the color. Apricot is the colorway. So this is a singles. The rest of these look like they're 2-ply yarn. There's one speckled, which she does recommend in the pattern. So that is my upcoming project. And yeah, I wasn't happy with just one Eat Sleep Knit bag. I saw this one. And this was just a great tote bag, okay? This has place for your water bottle, your pens, your stuff, your garbage, and I'm always dragging a tote bag. This one actually has a zipper pocket on the inside, and I think a key fob somewhere. Yeah, it does. It actually has a key fob on the inside. So that was more stash enhancement, which I needed like a hole in the head. I think that's it. That's it for the knitting. That's it. We're done. That's everything. So on to spinning. Oh my. So I had purchased last year at Maryland Sheep and Wool a beautiful brown Corriedale fleece that was sitting. And I had also purchased a drum carder. And I had a Cornmeal fleece that I did scour. I washed it. I put it through the drum carder. It was probably the only thing I think I used that drum carder for so far. And I made bats, and I have been spinning on that. And I have several bobbins. I don't know why I keep starting the bobbins before I fill them, but this is how it's coming out. Okay, this is just the single. I'm debating whether I'm likely going to keep this a 2-ply. I would like to keep it as close to a lace weight as possible because I'm looking at using this for either a Shetland or an Estonian lace shawl. That's my goal. So I'm working on it. It's coming along. I am spinning this woolen, so it does go a little bit faster. And I brought one of the bats that I carded, and oh, this is so soft. This Cormo is just so soft. This is one of the better bats that I did. This was not one of the first ones. Oh my gosh, that light. But I have only maybe about 6 more of these, and then I'm finished. And then I will start plying this up. So that I have been spinning on for quite a while now. The other thing that I started was, this had been half started on my single treadle matchless. And when I cleaned my wheels and all of that yesterday, I decided to take it off that wheel, throw my Ladybug into double drive, and spin it on there. And it's almost done. I have a little chunk of fiber. I thought I brought what was left in here with me, but I guess I didn't. But I've got about that much left of the comb top. And then I will be chain plying this and we'll see. And underneath, there's a lot of purple that you can see right now, but underneath it, I don't know if you could see in there, there's some beautiful shades of blue. This was just such a pretty colorway, and I looked at the bag before I came in and totally cannot remember what the heck the name of it was. So I'll put it underneath. But this is Into the World. This is from the Luxe Club from 2014. I had to stop because I have so much of her I love Chris's fiber. I love her color sense. I love her preparation. But I don't think I will ever live long enough if I spun it every day of my life to spin all that I've collected. So I had to stop the club for a while. But I am working now again. Like I said, I have all 3 of my wheels going. I didn't bring in, I don't know why I didn't bring in what was on my match list, but trust me, it's going. I'm spinning again. So this is my second that is being done on my Ladybug. And this, oh my, this is finished. I did not, for some reason, I don't know why, I haven't bathed it yet, and I haven't thwacked it. But this is something I was working on. This was what was languishing on my wheel while I was going through my I don't want to do anything phase. Well, my spinning mojo was lost. And then I decided, no, it's time. And the colors were just so pretty. This is Nitty & Color. And again, if you've seen her, check out her website. She has fiber as well as yarn. Her colors are beautiful. This is ultra light at night, okay, and it was 4 ounces. I did not measure yet to see how much I got, what my yardage is. But I'm going to say this is somewhere between maybe a heavy fingering to a light sport. I think it's a little bit heavier than a true fingering, but we'll see what I got in terms of yardage. But that's the colorways. It's blacks and greens, and this is what I mean. People can take purple and green and black, and there's even a little, like a violet color in there, and it comes out beautiful. I take those colors and put the same colors together, and it is a hot mess, just a hot mess. I've learned don't even go there. That's why I do not dye at all. I tried it once, didn't work. My color sense leaves a lot to be desired, so I rely on others. I'm happy to do that, and this is the result. So I'm really happy that I got something finished. Again, I should be finished with that braid tonight and begin applying that. So hopefully the next time I record, I will have another finished spinning object, which would be great. And the other thing I wanted to show you that I did do this week and last week was I did wash that beautiful brown Cormo. And I was actually thinking, and it let me know, again, I don't know how many watch on the blog and who watches on YouTube, because you can watch in either place. But if you watch on the podcast on YouTube, you can write in the comments below. And the question I have, what I was thinking of doing is doing a video, and I've seen a lot on YouTube, and people do it in various ways, and it seems to be so complicated, how to wash fleece. But I don't know if any of you are interested in learning that or seeing how I did it, or if any of you, work with raw fleece. So let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in, and I will try to figure out, like, bribe one of my kids to be photographer, and I will wash and show you how I wash a fleece, because it's not difficult. And if I didn't felt it the way I washed it and it came out clean and it worked for me, you can do it. Okay, because I did not do anything special. I did not take any particular precaution. It really is a simple process. It's just a few basic rules, and if you follow them, you're not going to felt your fleece or ruin your fleece, and you're going to do just fine. So I brought in This is, oh gosh, okay. This is the tub that I have. And I still have a little bit of fleece left over. I was very particular with this one. I only wanted, some things that I have learned from the few fleeces that I've spun and that I've processed is a little bit better sense of what to look for when buying a fleece. And I actually think this one was good. This was not much waste. And what to bother with and what not to bother with. And I've learned to lay the fleece out before I start pulling out of the bag and washing hunks of it. Lay the fleece out. There are some areas, obviously, of the sheep and of the wool that are going to be muddier. Now, this sheep was coated, so this was pretty clean fleece to begin with. But there are still areas of the fleece that get muddy, that get ruddy. Can you wash them? Yes. Did I want to bother washing it? No, it wasn't worth it to me. So I really wanted to pick the top, okay, of the fleece. And I just didn't want to bother with, I mean, if it was muddy tips, that was fine. I'm talking about the matted, muddy, dirty stuff. So that I learned that to really look at the fleece before you buy it. And if there's a lot of stuff in there that you don't want to deal with, that's probably not a good fleece for you. Even if the good part is really good, unless you really want to work at scouring the dirty part, it's probably not the best choice for you. Some people don't mind that. I don't have the room. I just don't have the facility to leave it sitting outside soaking or not sitting in my house soaking. So it's choices. But at any rate, I had a good amount out of this, and I just wanted to pick out. Now, I washed this in mesh bags in the sink. Again, like I said, I can do a video on it. If y'all want to see it, I'd be happy to do that. But I put it in the mesh bags. I swished them around really good, washed it several times, and I put this baby in the dryer in the mesh bags to spin out. No problem. No felting, no nothing. It came out like fluff. And here's what I have. And you can see that even with that, it kept, you can still see the locks. Let's see if I can, oh gosh. Let's see if I pull off a piece here. I mean, you can just pull off the locks. And like I said, it was so easy. Let's see. I mean, it's showing up black. It is a very, very, very dark chocolate brown, but let's see if I shut this one out. Would that help? No, it's only making matters worse. Let's see. Let's put a dark background, something, I don't know, anything, whatever. It's got nice crimp to there. Wait, I think. There you go. It's crimpy. This is, again, a Corriedale fleece. I got this at Maryland Sheep and Wool last year, and I'll go into how I'm going to prep it actually when I get up to the Maryland Sheep and Wool discussion, because I'm not sure. But again, you can just pull off the locks. It was very, very simple. I did not put them in little mesh rolls and roll them. I don't have time for that. It would have taken the joy out of the whole thing. This was such an easy to do process, and it worked. So that's my spinning. I have 2 FOs, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Maryland Sheep and Wool. 1 FO is my April socks from Desert Vista Dyeworks. This is the Elvis and Fleetwood Mac colorway. They are almost twins. Okay, one toe got some yellow on it. But otherwise, I'm absolutely fine with it. The part that shows up here, which it never shows because it's under my pants anyway, but if it did, this part matches just fine. This part's in my shoe. I can live with it, and even if it didn't match, I'm fine with that too. And again, this is the flap and gusset heel that I did. This particular one is the only one that I found that fits me. So that's my finished April socks. So that's one FO. And the other thing I finished, and I'm really kind of proud of myself for this one, is I did finish the Fiori Autunnali. I have not blocked this yet for the sole reason that I don't know where in the world I'm going to block this thing. It is huge. It's huge. Okay, that's the bottom. Okay, and these are the wings. This is one side right there. Now, as big as it is now, this thing is going to stretch out tremendously. And I theoretically probably could put all the leaves in my dining room table and block it there, and my cats will have a field day pulling it apart. This is the beaded edge. And I think, yep, the ends, this, I loved the ends on the wings. That's the ends on the wings. And I used a beaded mix. The beads were pre-mixed from Bead Biz, and I just loved it. I thought it blended in really, really nicely. Enough of the beads popped, some of them blended, so I thought that was a good pick. But my blocking issue, again, if I do it anywhere where my cats can get at it, they will claw at it, they will rip at it. So I think my only option is to take this over to my mother's house and block it on her second bedroom floor with my blocking mats. So that's why that hasn't been blocked yet, is because I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to attempt to do it. But finishing that, I think, really, really gave me a big boost. That I started it, I kept at it, I finished it, and I really enjoyed the process. And I think that's when I decided that if I want to get things finished, I need to kind of work on them. Not, you don't have to work on only one thing. Like my socks, they're my travel project. I have a deadline for them, which is reasonable for me. I mean, to knit a pair of socks in a month, that's totally doable. I've been enjoying it. I've been getting socks done. And my Hap Shawl too, I worked a little on it at night. I'm not under any pressure, but I've been working on it, getting it done. Right now, my focus is really on getting the Creatrix done, which I have been working on, and my goal is to get it done before the Hohe Mystery Knit Along starts. So it's like I have now a plan, and I don't have all this stuff hanging over my head anymore. And the spinning, I'm afraid it's been kind of taking me away from the knitting, so I'm kind of trying to limit the spinning during the day because the wheels are downstairs. So I've had kind of less knitting time, but that's okay. Coming up this weekend is Maryland Sheep and Wool. I will be going with my daughter. I will be there from Friday. We're actually going to stay over Sunday and leave on Monday. I found that drive back after that long day on Sunday is just a horror drive, and the traffic getting through the city. Once you hit northern New Jersey or central Jersey to get into either Manhattan, Staten Island, whatever, to get out onto the island, it's a miserable ride on a Sunday. It's just horrible. There's no way around it. There's no other way to get onto the island. So we found that if we stay over till Monday and wait until after the morning rush hour, it's a much better ride home. So that's what we're going to be doing. I have a few things in mind this time because I did get my fleece washed. I will be looking in the fleece tent, in the fleece barn. I will be looking. I'm not exactly sure what I want, but I will be in there and I will be looking for another fleece. And that's why I'm saying if I do purchase it, if anyone is interested, let me know in the comments below that if it's something that you're interested in seeing, and I will try and make a video of how I wash it so that you can see that when I do that with whatever fleece I come home with. And the other thing I'm really feeling a pull for is to get a wheel. I'm looking, I have CPW, which is Canadian Production Wheel. She spins beautifully, but she's just not my favorite wheel. And I know there are people who want these wheels. I know they're very coveted. And I really hate to have this wheel that is actually spinning, that it's not missing parts, it's not broken, it's just sitting. So I'm thinking of selling that wheel. And again, I'm thinking of selling my single treadle matchless. And I have been looking at the new Shacked flat iron, which is their Saxony style wheel. I have not tried it, so Maryland Sheep and Wool would be a great opportunity for me to give that wheel a whirl. And I've always wanted a Lendrum. My only reason why I have kept getting the different Shack wheels is because the parts are interchangeable, and that's a big thing. Now, the Lendrum, if you buy the complete package, comes with the fast flyer, the jumbo, and the regular flyer, so you really kind of don't need to interchange parts. The only thing would be the bobbins, so I'd need to purchase extra bobbins for that. So I don't know, it is a folding wheel, so it does travel. I don't know if it's easier to travel with than my Sidekick. I know the Sidekick does not fit in the overhead bin unless you are on a very large plane. I've run into that before. So that's iffy whether or not you can check that. I do believe that the Lendrum folds up to a smaller footprint, but I will have to check that out. So those are a few of my goals for Maryland Sheep and Wool. I hope not to come home with yarn and fiber because I'm overloaded with that already. So fiber, yes, in the form of fleece. And the other thing I've been looking and I might consider getting is a picker, because I think it might make short work of processing the fleece before I can put it through the drum carder is if I actually get myself a picker. So those are the things that I will be looking at. I will be walking around again. Like I said, I will be there Saturday and Sunday. I am enrolled in a class on Friday. I may actually offer that spot to somebody else who I know is looking for it, because I just don't think I'm going to be able to make it there that early on Friday morning. God, it's dry in here and I'm talking too much. I am dead. This is a sign that I've been talking too much. It's time to go. So if you see me at Maryland Sheep and Wool, please come up, say hi. I'd love to meet you, all 10 of my viewers. I feel like, literally, I'm sitting here talking to myself half the time, which is fine. It's, like I said, it's the process. I really enjoy doing this, and I know I do have a few faithful viewers out there, so I'm doing this for you as well. I really do enjoy it, but if you are there and you do happen to spot me or see me, please come over and say hello. I would be honored to meet somebody that actually was watching. So it would be my pleasure to meet you. Again, if you're going to Maryland Sheep and Wool, send me a message on Ravelry. You can let me know on Instagram. You can let me know in the comments below. We can try to hook up. That would be great. So with that all being said, I'm glad I got a chance to record today and to kind of catch up on where I've been at. Hopefully next week I won't have a month's worth of stuff, but hopefully I'll have a big haul from Maryland Sheep and Wool. You never know. So with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful week. If you do go to Maryland Sheep and Wool, I hope you have a wonderful time. It really, as much as I absolutely love Rhinebeck, Maryland Sheep and Wool is my favorite festival. It is homey, it is fun, it is just, I love it. I really, really do. I love the area. Get around if you have a car. Get around the area, Ellicott City, the historic village. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to visit. There are some really lovely yarn shops there. I understand there's a yarn crawl or something to that effect that will be going on. So I hope you enjoy yourself, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. And as always, remember to knit with sense.